You can catch Nerd Radio live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Central. In between each segment will be samples of the songs you can hear during our live broadcast. Please enjoy. Hey everybody, and welcome to Weekly Nerdy News. I am one of your hosts, Nick. Here with me today is...
It's Nate. I'm not dead. Might have the Rona, but not dead.
Yikes, a million. So everybody, welcome to Weekly Nerdy News. From comic book movies to Oscar winners, pro players, hardcore gamers, and even beginners, this is the broadcast for everything nerd culture. This is Weekly Nerdy News. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hi guys. How are you doing? So we're gonna get started off today. Usually our first segment. Hey, how's you doing? How's you doing? So, how you doing, Nate?
I'm doing good. You struggling there for a minute? It was like, let's switch to you. Yeah, you probably should switch to me. I'm talking and you can't see me. So, okay, yes, now we're actually in a broadcast. Yay. Okay, cool. Oh wait, real quick. We
do have someone from France. Bonjour. Je m'appelle Nicolas.
Let's not send them away right off the bat. Let me change my
I'm sorry, but that is how you say it. So why am I sending them away?
Send me away.
Send me away. Comment allez-vous?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
probably saying it like super white, like je ne sais quoi.
yeah, probably.
But I'm trying. Doesn't that count for something?
Yeah, like I said, I'm good. Like I said at the top, there's not a good chance. We've been we're in a quarantine right now, actually, because my wife tested positive for the Rona.
Merci.
That's it's fun time.
So just wear a plastic bag around her. I mean, it'd be a nice reverse from when you have sex. You know? Hey!
Yeah. But no, we actually had a really good day yesterday in particular. We watched a couple movies. We watched Run on Hulu with Sarah Paulson.
Run.
I know. Every time that song has ruined that for me. And then we... what was it? We watched Love and Monsters last night. We finally watched that.
Finally? Okay, come on. We got some things to talk about. What is your views on that right now?
When I say cute, I'm not meaning it in a like derogatory sense.
Okay.
It's like it was very like I'll say it like this. My only complaint on it is I want more, if that makes sense. Like,
well, that's a good thing, yeah.
Yeah, like two parts in particular, like the whole thing with Clyde and Minnow. I just love Michael Rooker, but I want to see more of them. Like I wish we could, I feel like that whole scene was very short, and watching it, I was like, I noticed that, but towards the end I realized why. It's because there was a lot more at the end than I expected, because halfway through I was like, where is this going to go? And here's the thing, like I kind of called it, obviously spoilers for the movie if you haven't seen it. I called it kind of at the beginning when he was talking to her on the radio, because the way the trailer makes it sound is, oh my God, I found you. I'm now actually going to go find you, instead of, oh no, I've been talking with you.
Right, yeah.
I had a feeling it was going to be one of those, he shows up and she's like, I'm not really interested.
I'm not really interested. Like, look, it's like super sweet that you like cross the country and like risk your life for me. I mean, if anything, the really messed up thing is that at the beginning, she was pretty much like, oh yeah, I'm going to wait for you or whatever. Which, you know, that's what everybody says, sure. But it's still a little fucked up that she was just like, oh yeah, this other guy. Which granted, I mean, did they ever establish how long it has been since they were talking?
7 years.
No, since they were talking. It took them a while to find her, obviously.
Took them a while to find her, yeah. And I didn't say how long it was, no.
I mean, maybe some point they might have mentioned it or something. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just weird that it's like, hey, I'm gonna come to you, and she's like, yeah, have fun with that, and then he makes his whole way there. I thought it was as much as like I hated that they didn't have an absolute yes, we're together. I mean, it was very ambiguous towards the end, but I do like kind of the subversion of expectations, because it's like you expect him to get all the way there, and she's like, oh my god, I love you, or whatever, I can't believe you made it here, but instead it's like, no, I'm sorry, that's just not how it works, or whatever. So instead they kind of gave us this ambiguous that will they won't they kind of thing, which I actually think works a little bit better, and it makes it feel a little bit more real, because they were apart for like 7 years. She had somebody else, and he ended up dying or whatever, and so but I mean, like, I would have to say, and I mean, Corona has something to do with it probably, but I would have to say that's one of my favorite movies of the year, because it was just really well put together. You could tell this was put together before everything happened, because it felt like an actual movie. Yeah. And I mean that not only just from like the freaking special effects, like all the monsters look super realistic, but just the storytelling was really well put together. There was very clear, like instead of him just like becoming a badass overnight, like they really made me believe that he made that struggle, so to speak. He got to that point where he's like, yeah, I'm a badass now, and even when he even when he takes on the big monster at the end or whatever, he isn't just like kicking its ass 24/7. He's actually struggling, and it made it way more believable. It made me like his character a lot more, and so I genuinely love that movie. Like, one of the best of the year. I mean, isn't saying much.
Right.
Because of the year we've had. But even still, Well,
we still have to watch Wonder Woman at some point, especially because
it
leaves the 24th.
Do we? I feel like I've heard enough where my views on the first one, which if you don't know, I like the first one. Nothing necessarily wrong with it, but I feel like everybody agrees that the third act was just kind of and the middle was like really awesome, and then the beginning was just like, all right, come on, get on with it. So it's like there was too much holding me back to actually enjoy it. So
for me, we didn't actually see the first Wonder Woman until last year. And it was one of those, I'd heard that it was good, and everyone was like, oh my god, you got to watch it. It's good. And I'm like, it was boring. I was like, it was.
Yeah. It had one good scene where it's just like, god damn.
Well, honestly, all the way up until I think they went to the ball, like the event.
Dude, you're talking about the porno, not the movie.
All of the stuff leading up to it, like the whole scene of I don't even remember his name, Chris Pine's character stealing the plane and like bombing, like all that was really cool. But going to the very end, when it turned into the Zack Snyder CGI fest of a character I didn't give a shit about the entire, like you told me about him, cool, like you kind of like you did a good job of leading it up, but it was like that made the movie pointless to me. And it's this, like the sacrifice of Chris Pine, I was like, okay, whatever. Like it was just like, it was not. I would say it's one of the. I would definitely put it below Batman versus Superman, 100%. I would. And I don't think that's an argument at all.
Actually, it is, because. Well, no, I do like Batman versus
Superman. The extended edition of Batman, like, and when I say Batman versus Superman, I'm talking about the extended edition, because you're
talking about the real movie, not that other shit all you people saw in the movie theater.
Not the theatrical cut. Which I know is like it's kind of a bullshit argument as well. But I want to see 1984 because I want to. It's the first time I actually want to be in the zeitgeist of it. Like, I want to see, okay, is it as bad as everyone's talking about? I don't really want to wait 3 years to watch it and then be like, oh, okay, like I kind of see. But I like that it's given me that timetable of the 24th, because it's making me like, okay, I'll go ahead and watch it.
I've got a timetable I've got to do.
But yeah, this is technically this is a 2021 movie, isn't it? It's not 2020. Or did
Well,
no?
it came out on
oh,
Christmas.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You learn your timetables.
Learn my timetables. But yeah, I mean, we did watch Soul last week.
Oh,
Actually.
My
So talk
God.
about
Okay,
yeah.
is it right what I said about it? Which what I said about it was that it's the most mature theme wise Pixar movie probably of all time.
Clear cut, yes. I would say Inside Out is a little bit more, but Inside Out deals with a lot more ideology, like more complex ideology. Like it's not in your face where this is like, hey, and in your face in a good way. It's like, hey, this is what we're talking about. You can understand it. It's not as much to unpack. But I love Soul. I think I would love it more if I was able to show it like when we do finally have kids. Someone put it that there was like, this is one of those movies that you have to show your kid. Like they have to grow up watching it. I'm like, I agree with it. I think I love Inside Out more.
Yeah.
Just because that one still fucks with my head pretty like in an existential way. And I really like that one made me think really, really hard about kind of really made me think about my existence kind of thing, which Soul does, and that's the point of it. But I don't know. There's something about, and I'll go back and rewatch Inside Out to kind of cement that to see if that's the case. But talk about probably one of the most beautifully animated movies I have ever seen.
Yeah. Pixar bringing its A game. I mean, Absolutely. What I loved so much about it is that pretty much anything you've seen of it, if you've only seen the trailers, you've only seen like Act 1. You know what I mean? And so I really love how like Act 1 was exactly what I expected because that's what I was advertised. Act 2 takes this huge divulge and it's just like, oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it was really weird to see just where they went with it or whatever. I guess I don't want to give too much away other than if you see the little posters with the cat, like that means something to the story. Not only that, but then the third act was even more like thought-provoking because it was like, you know, the entire movie is working towards something and then he kind of gets that something for the most part and then it's just like, oh, what now? And it's like that what now that like really hit me like, oh shit. Like, and especially what ends up happening afterwards, it's just like, damn, that's good. That's good. That's nice.
Yeah, no, definitely. And one of my favorite characters, honestly, in the movie was I don't remember his name. The the God, what is his name? The blue one, the one that noticed the count was off.
Oh, Terry.
Because
everybody else is Jerry.
Yeah, God, the Terry, like the part at the when there was like, here, Terry, here's your award that you specifically requested that we give you, but here it is. It's like, yes, this reward that I request. Like, it's just the humor of it.
I also likes how he accidentally gets that one guy, and he's like, oh, wrong guy.
Yeah. And then he like pulls it back, and he's just like cowering, and he's like,
he's like, I forget everything you see.
Yeah.
That was really good overall. I really do feel like they juggled really serious topic, which is like death and whatever, but you know, they juggled it with, you know, hey, here's this funny, you know, sequence of events or whatever. They juggled that really well, and I think those are the best Pixar movies. You know,
I
like
definitely
a WALL-E would have been fine if it was just a funny robot going everywhere, but the fact that it does kind of have an extra meaning to it is what really makes WALL-E really good. Same thing about Nemo. Any of their just absolute classics or whatever. It's like there's something underneath the surface, something that you can, you know, really learn from it, even if you don't know you're learning from it. And then you get older and you can still appreciate that as an adult. Because that's the one thing about Pixar in general, is that this is like the very few people who make kids movies that are actually for everyone. You know, because I mean, like a really good example. Have you seen No More Heroes yet?
Oh no.
God, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
That is so headache inducing because it's just so freaking dumb. So gosh darn dumb. And it's because it's made 1,000% for kids versus Pixar, like I said, is made, 50 to 75% for kids and then also adults. But I'd say more 50-50 actually, because I really feel like as an adult, I'm getting just as much, if not more out of Soul than I am if I was just watching it. Same thing with Onward. A lot of people didn't like that. I don't know why. It was a really good story.
Not that I didn't like it. I just don't think it's the best quality Pixar movie that they've come out with.
I know, but that's saying a lot.
It is.
I feel like anytime somebody rags on Onward, they're not realizing that like a bad Pixar movie is still a really good fucking Pixar movie. Like, but either way, like the messages under everything is like, oh, two brothers going on a trip, having a good time, fighting, concrete demons and stuff, and it's like, but then like the message under everything is just like, okay, like I could still enjoy that as an adult. I can even like tear up and everything. I'm like, that means something,
Yeah, this makes me definitely want more original Pixar stuff. Like I don't think from now on I want any more sequels of anything. I don't. I want to see more original stuff, and I haven't gone back and rewatched the I've seen some Easter egg videos, and apparently there's a bunch from Soul that I just didn't pay attention to.
Oh yeah, right.
But yeah, this is. I mean, they're just continuing to push the bar forward as far as what animation can do, but also what we can do with storytelling. So yeah, I was very, very impressed. If we're comparing the two, I definitely would put Soul over Love and Monsters.
Oh yeah.
As far as favorite movie of the year,
right. Me too.
But I can't think of any other movies I watched this year.
I know it's so hard. Well, I mean, because like there's tons of Netflix movies, and I've watched almost every single one of them. But yeah, it's so hard to, So we're gonna get into the news right after our first music break. So stick in with us, and we'll be right back. Woo! What a way to start the morning here with ThreadX3 Productions. That's our sponsor for today, ThreadX3 Productions. Make sure to go to our YouTube where you can find previews, reviews, nerd radio clips, and more. That's ThreadX3 Productions on YouTube. Check it out. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. Give us all that stuff. If you can't catch us live, you can catch us afterwards there. All right? Okay? Come on! Sorry. All right, so oh my god. All right, so let's get into the news of the day, shall we?
Shall we?
Yes. And so the first one of today, Mr. Krabs joins Dexter. Oh god. So I saw this and I was like, huh? And I'm like, oh, okay, it's the voice actor. So like the guy who does like the real deep voice from literally any cartoon ever.
Yeah. Pretty much. Clancy Brown.
Clancy.
There could be only one.
Right.
Also from Highlander, which I forget a lot of times.
What is your feelings so far on the fact that there's even a Dexter revival? Like, were you into the original? Like, what's your thing?
So that's the thing. When I first heard the news about this, I was like, okay, whatever, cool. I don't really care. But now I do because I actually started it. I've only seen the first 3 episodes.
Oh, God.
But no, I just started it recently. Like
recently. I know. Like, Jesus Christ.
What? Yeah, I can't.
Only like a day late, a buck short. So I can't even talk spoilers with you and what it means moving forward. Damn it.
Yeah, no, you really can't. But I like this because I love Clancy Brown. Based on what you said, I assume that he was in the show to begin with, wasn't he?
No, He's the new like he's going to be the new main villain for the season. I believe.
Oh, okay.
So. That's
Okay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I love Clancy Brown, and what I've seen from Dexter so far, it's hard a little bit to watch just because it is dated, kind of like.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah,
a slight way. But I know that it'll get better, obviously through the following seasons. But I think when I get to the point of the final season, if I should actually watch that, which I feel like I need to.
You need to. I mean, honestly, I wonder how much you would have to actually watch in order to be, because I mean, he does go through a journey, obviously. So it's like maybe watch season 1, season 3, and then the last season. Oh no, wait, is it season 3 or season 4? If you've watched it and you know the spoiler that I'm not trying to give away, let me know which season is it. Like the really like that really changed his life. I think it might be season 4. God damn it! Let me know in the comments.
I'll see camera to you.
Yeah. Shut up. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Or maybe, just maybe, Elijah Wood has something to say about Lord of the Rings.
Does he now?
Yes, he does. This was weird because like I saw the headline, which was, give me a sec. I feel like I have so many more things to do now. Elijah Wood talks Amazon's Lord of the Rings TV show. And so it's like that sentence was like, wait a second, hold on. There's a fucking TV show? Like, who didn't tell me this? I didn't. I don't know why. I don't know
why you didn't know that either, because that was a big thing that Amazon was putting $1 billion or a couple $1 billion into this Amazon production. Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Well, sorry, Nathaniel.
Now, here's the thing that's really funny about that clip that you put on there, though, is I love that Elijah Wood face, because that's the keep your secrets face. But yeah, I am surprised you didn't know this. I kind of share his sentiment of basically he was like, I'm super fascinated to see what they're going to do. Now, one thing that's interesting, and the quote that's coming from the article here, he says they're calling it The Lord of the Rings, but I think it's slightly misleading. From what I understand, the material they're working on exists chronologically further back in history in the lore of Middle-earth, rather than characters in the movie. So he's kind of not confirming, but kind of confirming that it might be in this Silmarillion era.
The before 4 times.
The before 4 times, which would basically like what they classify as the Second Age, which a lot of people speculated and figured that was going to be the case. But I think that's awesome, especially because like, let's stay away from the movies, but still get the same stuff in the world. And like Amazon putting a bunch of money into this, usually for most would be like, oh, throwing money at it doesn't mean it's going to be good, but this is one of those. It's kind of like Star Wars, where you can't really fuck with Lord of the Rings. Like you're going to have a very pissed off fan base if you do this wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, hopefully the money goes towards prosthetics, props, practical those kind of things that like we can actually see and we can feel like we can actually touch, because that is part of what made the original trilogy so good. The second trilogy, that's what it's fucked up. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, let's just have this weird, fantastical sequence where they're in fucking barrels, and it's like, why?
When it comes to The Hobbit, the first one is okay. Second one, really fucking good. Desolation of Smaug is a really, really good Hobbit movie. The third one, I can't fucking remember. I've seen it once, and I just remember there was fighting, and that was it. And I think that's actually the entire movie. So I will give you that. That is an example of where they fucked up with Lord of the Rings. So I think that this could also be kind of a Disney Star Wars situation where Disney fucked up with the sequel trilogy. Now they are definitely not going to, and showing people, hey, so if they follow that same trajectory, I think they're going to be successful.
Yeah. All right, moving on up. We got Wonder Woman soars past $118 million. This is interesting because it's fucking COVID. It's like, but yeah, this is actually pretty interesting because this is probably the first one to get anywhere close to that.
Yeah.
Because even if we look at the box office, I have it right here. Even if we look at the box office, like The Croods, which is a really good like family movie, that only made totally, it only made like 34,000 or 34,000. No, 34 million. Sorry.
Hey, that's really
Sorry, I can't read. It's a bit hard. Right before that, News of the World, which is the Tom Hanks one. Everybody loves Tom Hanks, and he had the Rona, so you'd think you'd want to support him, America, but apparently not, because it's only 6 million. Total 1 million last week, so yeah.
What was Tenet? Because that one I don't remember. I know that.
Are you going to make me go back into it now?
Yes, I am. Absolutely.
Tenet. All the way down here, 57 million. So even by that standard, that's a Christopher Nolan movie, okay? Yeah. People go to the movies for a Christopher Nolan movie, and that one only made 57 million. So, yeah, this one making, what was it, 118? Like, that's a good thing. Too bad it wasn't on a better movie, but, we'll get to that.
Yeah. That's what's funny, too. I could have contributed to this, and I didn't. And that's kind of going into what I was talking about before with wanting to see it before it leaves. It was my birthday in December, and we haven't gone to a movie all year, like most people haven't. And I was like, I would really like to do that. And when I looked at the box office, as far as what was playing near me, I'm in Texas and our theaters are still open. Apparently that's not a thing in most other places. But I looked and I was like, what's in IMAX? And it was Wonder Woman. And I go, don't know if that's worth paying $16 a ticket.
Yeah.
To see that movie.
Yeah.
I'll show you IMAX.
We actually have one next to us, well, not next to us, but near us, called The Majestic. We ended up going there to watch The Croods with my daughter. It was for our anniversary, and she's like, oh, I want to do something with you guys, too. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go see a movie. We've gotten to the point now where, like, we can trust her, like, as far as, like, keeping her mask on and being safe and stuff like that, so we've gotten to the point where we can trust her. So we went and saw that. We saw it at the Majestic. I don't know if any theaters near you do this, but the theater we went to has these seats where you can literally like just like lounge back like you're in a freaking Lazy Boy or whatever, and they're mechanicalized, so you can.
Not.
And it puts your feet up. Like, it's fucking amazing. And I'm just like, okay, thank you, Majestic. You've ruined all theaters for me. I can never go to a theater unless it lets me kick my
That's like Alamo Drafthouse. Like, Studio Movie Grill is not a bad chain, but Alamo Drafthouse in Texas is fucking where it's at. Easily the best movie theater experience I've ever had, primarily because they love movies. And they're like, hey, if you're on your phone, you get 2 strikes. On that second strike, you're out. You don't get a refund. Go fuck off. And plus the food's incredible.
Yeah.
No, I get you on that for sure.
All right. You ready? This one, I messed up my order, so this one is in. Okay, there we go. All right. Henry, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Henry? Henry Cavill recently suffered a injury while on The Witcher. Thank you. Things are hard these days. On The Witcher. So he gave an update. He says, where is it? Oh, we are in lockdown in the UK, so I'm using my once a day outdoor exercise to go for a brisk jog since my hamstring injury. It wasn't fast and certainly wasn't far, but it has been a major step in my recovery and my first step to getting back into the groove after a Christmas that may have involved more than a few cups of mulled wine and exceptionally fat turkey. I like it, a little playful and also like, comforting the fans or whatever.
Yeah. Honestly, one of the things that I really enjoy, or not enjoy, but
you enjoy it.
I don't like the fact that he got injured, but it's kind of one of those that it makes me look forward to season 2, because it's like, what could he have done that got him injured? Or I mean, we know what he did, but it's like the level of physicality that caused him to get injured filming this is like, okay, like it's like a respect thing when it comes to the quality of the show.
Respect.
Put speck on it.
It's like when Tom Cruise got his ankle shattered or whatever. For the longest time, I never saw what actually happened. Then only recently, I actually saw, I think it was Corridor Digital was doing one of their Stuntman Reacts thing, and they actually zoomed into his actual ankle, and I'm like, oh, that's how it happened. God damn. Like,
Are
the
you talking
way
about the Tom Cruise one?
Yeah, the Tom Cruise one. Like, the one where he hits the wall. It's like, I thought he would have cracked a couple of ribs. How did he do his ankle? They finally, zoomed into where his ankle was, and it goes from this to, oh, that's how it happened.
Yeah, it was
And
bad.
the fact that he gets up and he kind of just, he limps it off so he could finish the take. It's like, that's dedication. But also, a really good reason to have stuntmen, because it's like, oh, okay, that's why you have stuntmen, because when you do shit yourself, you end up hurting yourself, and now the entire production is fucked. Which luckily they had tons of scenes, because this is a huge sprawling epic or whatever. They had tons of scenes that they could just film while he's not doing so well or whatever. So luckily they were able to do that. So anyways, you know what? I think girls really do get it done. It's been said once or twice before, maybe not here, maybe not there, but girls really do get it done. Women directed more top-grossing movies than ever in 2020, according to a new study. Women accounted for 16% of the directors working on the 100 highest-grossing films last year. So that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? It was a nice little headline. I thought was just you know what? That makes sense. Also, with the fact that Patty Jenkins was the director for Wonder Woman, she is now officially the director who did the highest grossing in in 2020. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and with Patty Jenkins in mind, I'm really excited to see what she does. Like I said before at the beginning, Wonder Woman, the first one, I really didn't care for, and I don't think that was any fault of Patty Jenkins by any means. I think it was more
the fault in her stars.
Oh, shut the fuck up! I don't think that was a fault on her. I think that was a fault on the team in charge of the DCEU in terms of and maybe not. I don't know, because Wonder Woman 1984 is not getting great, and people are. But with the news of her doing the Rogue Squadron movie, it's okay. I really want to see kind of what you do. But I mean, yeah, that's definitely it's an awesome headline. It's an awesome thing to see. I'm ready to also see what it's going to be like when we're not in a COVID theater era, because I feel I want to see more of this. I want to see more vocal diversity as far as putting out good movies, and I want to see it done well. I don't want nobody wants a Ghostbusters 2016 again, where it's hey, let's show how powerful women are by showing how powerful. It's no, just give us a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
So
when it's too obvious, that's when people don't like it, because even assuming that you're an ally, so to speak, you know what I mean? Even if you are, I'm a man and I'm a feminist because I have 2 daughters and a wife or whatever. And even if I'm a feminist, I said that weird. Feminist. And then, anyways, even the fact that I might be a quote unquote feminist, they lose me when they're just so goddamn obvious about it, and I much prefer a character who's strong and powerful, who happens to be a woman, happens to be black, happens to be an Asian, those are the best written characters. A black creator on YouTube actually put out a video right after Soul, and he really appreciated that. Yes, there was black culture in the movie, but the main character himself was a character who happened to be black. And that's the best way to represent a black person, because, you're not doing stereotypes. You're not showing this person and giving them the Hollywood treatment. No, you're showing a character who happens to be black. And that's the same thing with empowering women. If you look at Ripley, nobody sat around and said, hey, you're a woman, shut the hell up, so that you could show how she rose up against the naysayers and whatnot. No, instead, they just made her a really badass character, especially in the second one, that she just happened to be a mother-type character.
Yeah, don't
fucking pay attention.
Don't write a character. I didn't know you already had the camera on me, my bad.
I should see you and be like, nah.
Don't write a character to be targeted as that thing. Have it actually be like a character, and it just so happens to be.
Yeah.
God damn it, I hate when you do that to me.
One of these times you're gonna be like scratching your balls and be like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do that. This is what you guys do Credit Threat X3 Productions for, is is that kind of shit.
Is that kind of shit? Yeah, this is the shit that you get. All right, so that are the stories for. Oh wait, sorry. Did you want to say something more?
Oh no, you were good.
Good.
No,
Shut the fuck up then.
Okay, cool.
Those are our stories in the entertainment world. After the music break, we'll come back and give you all your video game or all your video game news. Yeah, right? Like that's the right way to say it.
Exactly, video game news. Yep.
Video game news coming up next. Is the fact that it is such a AAA game and it got taken off the store. Like, name another PlayStation game in particular that got actually taken off the store. So for me, I feel like that's what's so unprecedented about it.
Yeah, nothing of this caliber. But as far as the details of it, GameSpot noted that it's lost 79% of its player base since launch, with its current peak being 200,000 players in comparison to December's peak of over 1 million players. Now, I know this game is huge, but even me, I don't expect there to be continuously a concurrent million people playing this game on Steam. Yeah. But I think what's important about that is how quickly it's lost. Like it did that in a month. And at the bottom of the article here, they do note that Witcher 3 Wild Hunt took 3 months to lose that percentage. Now, like it says here, they started at a lower peak of 92,000 when it launched in 2015. But it's interesting. I am really curious to see what happens with CyberPUNK as far as if the release of the PS5 and the Series X versions help. Obviously, if they're fixed at this point. If they're not fixed enough, I think that does kind of go into the play of CD Projekt Red. What have you guys been doing?
Right, right.
That's a year more of development. Now, I know COVID, all that stuff, that does make it hard, but it's like, okay, like some people are already starting to get on the outskirts of trusting CD Projekt Red, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, the aftermath of what happened and the fact that, like, one of the things that pisses me off the most is the fact that, from the most part, we could tell that most of what we were getting was from, like, their PR. It wasn't really from, like, a developer. So it's like all the developers were probably, crying wolf, or not. I guess it's not crying wolf if it's actually a wolf. But they were, they're crying, hey, this isn't ready, and they've already delayed it so many times. And remember, like, when we talked about, like, I think the last time it got delayed, it's like, hey, just delay it till fucking May or March, so it's still in the fiscal year or something. And boom, then we got this whole mess, and it's just like, God, I feel for those fucking people. That's what hurts the most, because, like, it's just like, and to put another perspective on the loss of players, if you look at, like, Skyrim or Fallout 4, there's still a huge community of people playing that game. They play mods, they play, like, there's still a huge community years and years after those games have come out. So it's like, just to put that into a different perspective, it's like the fact that they've lost so many people. Oh yeah, it's a single player game. It's, it's only meant to be played through a couple. Like, no, like, a good game like this could have been keep going for a while. For a while. I said this.
I feel like this game is going to have it already has a massive drop off, like a massive dip, but I think it's going to get a recent rise, because especially with people are still playing Witcher 3.
Right.
And I think that they'll finally be able to show us, what they're really doing once they get everything fixed. Now, speaking of developers, Well, kind of in a way, it's a really bad thing.
Keep going,
Nintendo
keep going. You got it.
buys the Canadian studio behind Luigi's Mansion 3, as well as Super Mario Strikers, which okay, I forgot that Super Mario Strikers was a game. But yeah, this also comes from Kotaku. Nintendo just announced that they purchased Next Level Games, who developed titles, obviously Luigi's Mansion 3, Dark Moon, and Super Mario Strikers. Cool. You know, I don't feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't feel like we really get a lot of news of Nintendo's studios, if that makes sense. Like, is everything can't be in-house, can it?
Yeah, honestly, if you would have told me that Luigi's Mansions 3 and Mario Strikers was made by somebody who wasn't in-house, I would have been like, nah.
Yeah. That's why this news feels kind of weird, because we're used to hearing it with, Microsoft and Sony of, oh, they bought Gorilla. Oh, they had they're buying these studios, Insomniac, probably the most recent one. But it's like you don't hear that often with Nintendo. Right. So, which, I mean, is good on them. Like, don't burn yourself out as far as like in-house production. Like, if you find talented, developers and studios, acquisitions are always good. Acquisition. Yeah. I mean, there's not really much to it. There's a quote at the bottom saying, "It is time for more Super Mario Strikers, my dudes." And I'm like, I don't know.
Yes! Oh my god, like, you saying that you didn't even remember it was a thing, I'm like, fuck you, it's an awesome game. Like, I would have much rather had, like, 8 Mario Strikers than 8 freaking Top Spin Mario or whatever.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I haven't really played much of the offshoot Mario games, but yeah. Now, depending on how you put this, not so good or good news, this next article comes from GameSpot. Sony confirms that the PS4 Pro is being discontinued in Japan.
Read the headline. Read the headline.
The console giant has ceased production of
No. PS4 Pro, more like PS no mo. Anyway, sorry.
Well, I mean, that is weird. Okay, so I'll go into it. The console giant has ceased production of all but one of its PS4 models at its native Japan. And it's native Japan, indicating that the transition to PS5 will be swift.
From there.
Now, okay, I want to know more. I'm going to read. Normal for console manufacturers like Sony didn't produce consoles, but it appears the process may be faster this time than its previous generations, as reported by Japanese outlet GameWatch. Translated to VGC, Sony has discontinued every model of the PS4 except for the standard jet black 500 gig PS4 Slim. Interesting. Which you would.
I mean, one of the main reasons they do it is because the Pro is the same price as the discless PlayStation 5.
Right. I was going to say that makes sense, but it also, you don't want to have a game that's marginally as powerful as the PS5. So it does make more sense to have high end over here, real low end over here. But I feel like the base PS4 has kind of been weaned out for most already. Just because it's such a, like, for me, I mean, it could just be very isolated, but I brought so I have 2 PS4s, whatever. I have a PS4 Pro and I have my Star Wars Battlefront one I got several years ago.
Your privilege is showing.
Yeah, I know. I went to, you know what, I'm not actually going to finish that. That's going to actually make my privilege show, so I'm not going to do that. But I expect that it'll be followed in the US as well. Like, yeah.
Do you think it should have been the other way around, where they discontinued the Slims but kept going with the Pros?
I do personally, because I feel like the Pro is less powerful than the PS5 for sure, but I feel like it's enough to where you can have those different SKUs and just drop the price of the PS4 Pro. Because the base PS4, especially with the games, CyberPUNK being a great example, you can't play that on a base PS4. Yeah. There are a lot of games that are being made that are just not optimized as well for that console. And I know they're not going to completely discontinue previous gen at all, because you still have that massive player base. But obviously, we're seeing an issue with production of PS5, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. We just, like, no one can get their hands on one. Like, the moment you announce it, it's gone.
Jesus, dude.
Did I hit my desk?
Yeah. Like, damn it.
But I expect that we'll see news coming soon that they're going to halt production for the most part to really focus on PS5 because I feel like that's the only avenue they have left to really start to get more consoles out.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to hit that one that time. In today has been a lot more development news than I actually expected. Mm-hmm. This one kind of excites me. Going on to the next story also comes from GameSpot. Respawn is working on a brand new IP. So, don't know who Respawn is, which if you've been living under a fucking rock for...
what the fuck, guys?
Apex Legends, Titanfall 1 and 2, Jedi Fallen Order. As we expected that they might be working on a sequel to Fallen Order, or I don't think anyone expected a sequel to Apex Legends, but I think this kind of confirms that Titanfall 3 is dead. They are officially working on a new property.
Yeah, maybe.
And this comes from, job listing where they're seeking engineer for technologies that will help players keep adventuring forever. Very broad. Love the hiring speak. It's my ever. Now, one of the things they say on this is that it is in a small incubation team for now. So if the new game does materialize, it's going to be a good ways off. So that is a good sign that we might have, Jedi Fallen Order 2 already starting in development. But
it
my
would have
question,
to be, right?
I want it to be. I really do, because I think that Fallen Order was a really good game, but I think it more than anything was a really good first step. Like I can't wait to
for sure, yeah.
Enhance and make it better.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, what do you think this could be?
What do I think it could be? I'm not sure. If it's adventuring forever, it would be kind of cool to have something in the Titanfall universe, but kind of like Destiny. You know what I mean? So like we're boosting around, we're running on walls, but we're also like calling in our Titans, and like, because like the lore of Titanfall actually has like a pretty good lore to it. So like being able to do that, but we're in like the world of Destiny or something like that, or the world of Apex, which is technically Titanfall anyways, but still like in that world, but it's this giant like Destiny kind of game. I could see something like that, and I think that would work really good in that world.
Yeah, no, you're right. The adventuring forever, and even notes in the article here, is a good indication of it being a live service game.
Yeah. Live service.
So, yeah, here's the thing that I really want.
The thing.
I'll show you the thing. I would like maybe a less shooter-focused kind of game. If it is going to be a live service, I think Respawn has a proven track record of one of the best features of their games being mobility in the game.
For sure.
Fallen, for example, in terms of just the movement and the mechanics, and Titanfall and Apex Legends obviously being the key players here. But I want Respawn to do something different. And I think
that's a good point.
I think that they've done well at that over the past few years in terms of showing what they can do. And of course, when Titanfall came out, they really started that generation of shooters, for better or worse.
Yeah.
And so I would like to see Respawn, whatever this game is, be that next thing. So could they be the next Destiny?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Definitely. Not much new information on that. Hopefully we'll hear something soon. We might not. I mean, COVID, whatever, but exciting either way. Let us know also what you guys would want or what you think this could be. Because, I mean, definitely several different ways that could go.
All right, so make sure you make a pause for my joke, okay?
Okay. No, I was planning on it.
Okay.
Now, going back to having hard production for the PS5, a PS2 themed black PS5 is going to be on sale this week.
And it's gone.
Wait for it.
What?
It's gone. It's all gone.
Oh, wait for it.
What's all gone?
The Black Special Edition PlayStation 5.
But it didn't do too well. It's gone.
I
the thing about
I did the thing where I recorded my voice again.
Yeah. Here's the thing about this. I saw the story go, and this joke played in my head immediately because I wasn't going to get my hopes up. I
Right,
knew
and it's good.
it wasn't going to be anything that I would get a chance to even get my hands on. Like, it's
Right.
cool. Don't get me wrong.
It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Like, here, we're going to go to our big screen here. We're going to go to our Google. Here, keep talking for a second.
Which this kind of leads into, was it Dbrand? I don't remember who actually did this. Was it Dbrand who put this out, or is it just some retailer that we don't know really much about?
No, I think it is officially licensed or whatever. Look at that. It's so pretty. Can I get a closer look? Oh, it's being dumb. Okay, open in new tab. No, why is it being dumb? Open image in new tab. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, look at that. It looks so pretty.
It looks really, really good.
God. Like,
especially with the lights on.
Yeah, right? Exactly. With the blue, like, especially you can see it more on the controller.
And the colored PlayStation logo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so pretty.
Now, here's the thing. I wouldn't feel so bad about this because I think this can be made. I think that this can easily be, customized in some way, which I think.
I think the main thing is that this is a PS2 themed one. So the logo and the way it is on the controller, the way it is on the console itself, I don't know if that will continue because obviously, even if we look at like the regular PlayStation 5, it doesn't have the PS logo. So we might see a black one again. It just won't look quite the same. So, sorry, go on.
Yeah, well, it kind of leads into an interesting thing that's going on with the PS5. Not only can you not get your hands on it, but it's interesting as far as the customization of the console and how easy it is to take off those plates.
Okay.
And like Dbrand, which is a company I had referenced before, who makes skins and makes cases and stuff like that. They're doing a line of PS5 shells, basically, which is interesting because that PlayStation 5 website that came out before release,
so dumb.
They got stripped down. So it makes me wonder if they, and I'm going to fact check myself if they're like being officially licensed or if they're.
While you're being fact checked, I found a picture of it with the lights on the console, and goddamn, goddamn, it's so pretty.
Okay. So when you go to Dbrand's website, which if you just go to dbrand.com, if you want to pull it up on your end, Nick, the first thing that pops up is PS5, and which makes me think that they did get officially licensed by Sony to be able to sell this, but Sony hasn't, brought anything about it. But the only one that they're really selling right now is a matte black faceplate. But they're also selling a skin combination, which would make basically the centerpiece white, so it's almost like an Oreo kind of finish. It's like a reverse.
Why?
Just because they can, honestly, because they can. But I'm curious to see this generation what PlayStation will do in terms of customization for the PS5 because with everything else, like it's a shell that you can't take off with the PS4, and so there are these custom editions. Whereas if I'm trying to market this to sell to people, like PlayStation, what are you going to do to incentivize me to pay $500 more for the special edition console when I can easily take these plastic plates off, either customize them and paint them myself or buy them off Etsy, or something like that. So,
and I mean, like, considering the amount of money they could make if they just license somebody to do it for them,
I feel like that would be the smartest thing to do.
Like, we've seen mock-ups of the Spider-Man one. We've seen mock-ups of...
Hey guys, sorry for the abrupt ending due to Twitch muting some of our content. It made it basically the last 2 minutes of the show was muted out, so I do apologize for that. All the more reason to make sure to go to twitch.tv/ThreatX3 Productions or on Facebook at ThreatX3 Productions or YouTube at ThreatX3 Productions. All three places streamed simultaneously every Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Time. That way you won't miss anything. But once again, sorry for that. We will hopefully try to fix that in the future.
I'm stuck on you. We'll make it through. We'll make it through. We'll make it through. I'm stuck on you.